Yeah, Keith, a lot of the players were, when you won the conference, were going into their 30s, and obviously you and Jason Eaton took the decision to concentrate on your career, but some of those lads took the gamble, and it paid off for most of them.
Well, I don't know, they didn't take the gamble. I think some of them still had a year or two left on their contract anyway, so I think their mind was made up by the fact that they had contracts. Jason and myself, our contracts were up. So as I said, it was probably down to the fact that whether if we stayed in the conference, we'd have probably stayed, and if we got in the Football League, then you had to make the decision as to whether you wanted to give up your jobs and go professional again, which is again, something that I contemplated, but not for too long, because I had a good job, young family, and I needed that bit more security than a one-year contract could offer me.
Yeah, and all the time you grew up in this area playing football and trying to make it, did you ever think Cheltenham would have the Football League?
Absolutely not, and I still pinch myself now, because I still think it's a fantastic achievement every season they stay in League Two, and the people that deserve the plaudits for that, the people that run the club, the board, people like Paul Baker and Colin Farmer have put thankless hours into the club, and no considerable means of money into the club as well. I just think it's a fantastic achievement to stay in year after year. And yes, I think a lot of people think, they should kick on to League One and Championship and Premiership, but realistically. Certainly realistically, the people that used to watch Cheltenham in non-league will know that League Two, maybe League One's about the dap, because you just haven't got the fan base, which is a shame, but it's just not a footballing hotbed. Certainly at that level that it needs to be to get the budget to go into the league above. And even clubs like Yeovil now have got that issue with getting into the Championship. When they used to play in the conference, they used to get 7,000, they're still only getting 7,000 now in the Championship. So they run the club prudently. But I think a lot of people, if you ask them honestly, would rather that than being masses of debt and trying to chase a pipe dream, really. So I just think it's fantastic they stay in the league.
Yeah. So when you look back on your career, would that night at Yeovil be one of the up there with the highlights, or one of the?
Definitely. Signing professionally for Reading, which is something I always wanted to do. Not necessarily for Reading, but sign professionally, play at Wembley, and get promoted with your hometown club, and play at Wembley with your hometown club. Absolutely brilliant. Something you will never forget, something people can never take away from you, and to be part of that with such a great bunch of players, a great bunch of teammates, and a fantastic manager, was just absolutely second to none, really.
Yeah. And how many of those teammates are you still in contact with
all
now?
All of them. Yeah, still speak to them all, probably not as often as I'd like. We all speak to each other, certainly at Christmas. I text everybody all the time. I text quite a few of the lads yesterday to congratulate Duff and say what a brilliant achievement that is for him. Most of them came back and abusing him on the text, which is something you'd expect anyway. But no, we all stay in touch. We probably don't get together as much as we'd like, and if I could do anything about that, I would, because it'd be great to get them all back down the club just to have a beer and watch a game and have something to eat and chat about the old times, really.
Yeah, and you got to play at Reading as well, didn't you, for Cheltenham in the FA Cup? Was that another good
I did,
moment
yeah,
for you?
yeah. That was quite surreal, because I'd spent two and a half years at Reading, and when we drew them in the cup, it was quite weird. But we should have won the first leg. In fact, I should have scored the winner, and sliced one wide with a couple of minutes to go. But the chance to go back to Elm Park, and that was nice, and said goodbye to a few people I didn't get to say goodbye to when I left.
Yeah. Can you just run me through, after you left Cheltenham, you went to Worcester with Graham Orner, was it? That's first
yeah. Steve actually rang me up. Steve Cottrell rang me up and said, there's a couple of clubs in for you. Would you be interested in talking to these in particular? And I said who was interested. In Newport County, were interested in Worcester City, so I went and spoke, met Graham. Obviously, a very experienced manager at the level. Told me about, it was very much like Steve actually, told me what he wanted to do with Worcester City. Had a dream that he was going to be a bit like Kidderminster and get them into the conference, which unfortunately didn't pan out. But I had a year playing for Graham, which was fairly enjoyable. The drop down in level was noticeable, and the drop down in the quality of players I was playing with was again noticeable. But still speak to a fair few lads that I played with at Worcester. Went from Worcester and played for to Whitney then, I think, with Brian Hughes, and helped him out up there, which again was very enjoyable. And then I sort of helped out Chris Burns at Gloucester City, and Brian Hughes again at Cirencester. It was something that I thoroughly enjoyed, and something that I probably would like to get back into in the next few seasons if the opportunity arose.
Yeah, possibly with Cleve, see what happens next
Quite
season.
possibly, yeah. I mean, there's a few things that need to be sorted out behind the scenes there, but yeah, there's an avenue there for Chris and I should we so desire to take it. And I think that decision will probably be made in the next week or 10 days.
Yeah, just finally, Keith, I remember reading an article by Derek Goddard in the Echo that said Steve Cotterill would employ you as just the team entertainer if he had a chance. Do you remember that one? Because
it's quite interesting actually, because most people that know me would say that I'm quite a dour and miserable person, but within the changing room I seem to have this happy knack of making everybody smile and making everybody laugh. And Steve did, I think he's put it in the book. I would be employed as the court jester along with Mark Crisp. Practical jokes were my forte. And when the team were down a little bit, which didn't happen very often because we had a very good, successful couple of seasons, I seemed to be the catalyst to sort of make everybody laugh and joke, and have a bit of a giggle on the bus again. Certainly on the way back from the FA Trophy final from Wembley, I seem to have been the court jester. But yeah, it's nice that Steve gives me that sort of plaudit. So it was something I enjoy doing, making everybody laugh in the change room, and still do it now.
Yeah, you obviously played with Mark Yates, Neil Howard, and Jamie Victory, Russell Middleton involved. So there's a bit of debate at the moment about, we touched on it earlier, the expectations have gone up, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think finishing, they look like going to finish mid-table with 2 games left, is that a decent achievement in itself, or do you think because of the achievements of the last couple of years?
Yeah, of course. As I said, I think it's a great achievement for the club to still be in the Football League. Mark will probably be disappointed, as will Neil, that they finished mid-table and he had high expectations. Mark's a hard taskmaster, I think. Obviously a little bit like Steve in that respect, that if they've been in the playoffs the last couple of years, he'd want to kick on and get into League One, certainly get in the playoffs again. So he'll be disappointed, but he's professional enough to know that come the summer he'll probably look to recruit a few more players and start again. But the beauty of it is that they're still in League Two, so they've got that chance to do it again next season.
Yeah, brilliant. Cheers, Keith. Thank you.